Welcome into PrepAquatics.com. I am Skyler King. As always, you can email me, Skyler@PrepAquatics.com. You can follow me on Twitter, @SkylerPrep. It's finally time for taper meet season, and we'll talk mostly about upcoming conference meets. First, we'll touch a little bit on this past weekend. Again, a lot of the top teams were not in action. So I did want to hit on a few teams that they kind of stood out and things that I thought were interesting. First and foremost, at the meet I was at Mattia, I unfortunately, and I understand why, but the two Oswego studs did not swim what you would expect to be their sectional events. However, they still performed very well in what they did swim. And I think they're both clearly locks for double top 8 in whatever they swim. Again, the only thing I find curious is not once have I seen them both swim the IM in the same meet. And as a lot of coaches kind of like to swim a meet that's kind of their sectional lineup just to kind of get everyone in that mode, and really haven't seen Oswego do that. And so that was kind of an interesting aspect to what I've seen from them this season. But whatever they swim, I still think the interesting thing with them is that the IM, I think, is kind of both their best events. But I think that's the least winnable event of whatever they would swim, because I think Izzy Bew is going to break 2 minutes, and I don't know that anyone else can. Whereas I think the breaststroke for Diner and the 500 for Gressick is much more winnable, because whoever you think the favorite is, even if it's them, they're not going to put up as good of a time as Bew is in the IM. I also, it would reestablish the fact that I do like Nikwa's relays to potentially be top 8 across the board. They don't have really a superstar, even though they do have Ruhi Chitan, who was 102 in the breast last year. But there's not really a second race like Diner and Gressick have, for example, to make her a true super duper star. But Oswego could definitely crash somebody's party. One of these top teams, if they're a little off on Friday, and they could catch a 9th. And Nick was one of the teams that they would have to look out for, potentially knocking them down. And then the other meet that I was following a bit was in Deerfield. Rosary was up there, and Rosary is just still out there doing Rosary things. I'm just really interested to see what their sectional lineup looks like. They're really going to be, and obviously Oswego is going to be there as well. They're going to be the main event at that sectional, and I'll be interested to see how the lineup breaks down. And because I think there is a lot of different ways that Glen Brown can get creative in putting that lineup together. And the diversity of rents, and just how all of those girls can generally swim a stroke of some kind. On a lot of teams you say, well, this person's a freestyler, and that's not really that true, especially if kind of the front line people for Rosary. Almost all of them can swim a stroke of some kind proficiently, and it really provides them a lot of options with how they can put their sectional lineup together. And with Rents, especially, we talked about she's kind of in the same situation the Oswego girls are, whereas her best event's the fly, but the fly's got the best swimmer in the state in it. And so if she goes 50-100, she might actually, have a chance to win something without having to knock off Annika Parkey, and open up more possibilities for Rosary. Honestly, that would be my move. If I was putting Rosary's lineup together, 50 free, 100 free relays is what I would put Rents in. but again, we don't know what the talk is inside that team. A lot of times, certain girls say, I want to swim this or I want to swim that, and if there's somebody that would otherwise get that second fly spot that says maybe they want to go 3 relays, that's always a possibility. I think it would be crazy to think that Rents might go 3 relays, only because whatever she does swim is going to be worth, her 2 races are going to be worth probably a top 3 relay added together. For Deerfield, things are not looking great for them in terms of the supporting cast. Specifically when it comes to the freestyle, they had 2:26s on their A relay, so they got 140 flat, which is a decent time. But when you consider they had a 24.1 and a 22.9 on there, I can't see as it currently stands Deerfield going top 8 in a relay at state this year. And even honestly, the medley right now, their backstroker barely broke 30, and again, Parky's already going 24.2. So she's not going to go 21, and that's probably what she would need to go in order to get them into the top 8. There would just have to be a lot of improvement across the board, and I don't know if they're going to go 28.5 in the backstroke. That's a big ask for Ilkey, Parky, and Wilhelm to bring that relay back. Looking ahead now to conference meets, we got 2 weeks of them coming up. I'm going to do my best to make 2 this weekend. Friday night at LT, West Suburban Silver, LT in Hinsdale. It's always, generally speaking, a fun, tight meet. When you have 2 teams in a conference meet scenario that are clearly better than everyone else, even if one's better than the other, the thing that plays out is you can't get away from them, because if no one from the other teams is beating either of the 2 girls from the top 2 teams, it really comes down to who wins races, especially relays. So hopefully it's going to be a close one, and we'll see if any shaved kids make an impact. I would think that would happen more with LT because of their incredible depth. Whoever their 3rd girl is that maybe in a race that maybe didn't get the number 2 spot in their other race, I think could really swing things into LT's favor. And so because of that, I would tend to say that LT is the favorite going into that meet. Although I'll be interested to see what the seed points look like if I can get my hands on a heat sheet before the meet starts. And then on Saturday, I'm going to try to make it up to Loyola for the Metro Catholic Conference. I actually don't think I've been to Loyola since they built their new pool. I was trying to think about that yesterday as I was considering where to go Saturday. Most years I go to the DBC meet, but because I go to the Naperville sectional as well, I felt like I should spread out and see some different teams. The Catholic meet is always wide open because we've seen on the boys' side as well, entire teams suit to try to win conference some years, and it's just wildly unpredictable. And so I think it should be fun to see what everyone does. It'd be the upset of the century if anyone beat Rosary at that meet. Even with potential shaves and Rosary, if Rosary doesn't have shaves on the varsity, it would still be wildly unlikely. And so those are the meets I'm going to try to hit this weekend. And when Friday hits, we're going to be 3 weeks away from state prelims. And so we are really getting towards the tail end of this season. And after this week, you're gonna have sectional kids potentially starting their taper, and so exciting times to come. And for all you girls that are swimming at conference this weekend, I would just say I say something like this every season, boys and girls. Never take for granted how important your swim can be to this sectional and state team. If you go out and post a great time, it's just going to make those kids that much more excited when it's their time, and it can really give the emotions a boost to see your teammate perform well and know that that's coming for you in a week or two. As always, you can email me, SkylerPrepAquatics.com. You can follow me on Twitter, @SkylerPrep. We'll be back next time recapping the first week of conference meets and looking ahead to week 2 here at PrepAquatics.com.